He hangs backside, and while Ferguson pushes vertical, that safety hangs inside. That means I got to get my eyes outside to CeeDee Lamb, ball over the top, and it's touchdown to Dallas Cowboys. That formation, that 3-by-1 with Pickens backside and CeeDee Lamb opposite, is an absolute nightmare for defenses to defend.
I love it. Just in case that answer wasn't clear, the Dallas Cowboys offense.
Thursday Night Football delivers a matchup with major playoff implications as the Dallas Cowboys travel to face the Detroit Lions, and the analysis coming out today paints a very clear picture of what this game will hinge on. The first and most impactful factor is the status of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is listed as questionable, and his availability dramatically changes Detroit's offensive structure. St. Brown ranks top 5 in the NFL in yards after the catch and is number 1 in catches over the middle of the field, the exact areas where the Dallas defense has shown vulnerability this season. Against the Chiefs, Dallas struggled with traffic in bunch formations, late pursuit angles, and coverage breakdowns over the middle. If St. Brown plays, Detroit gains its most efficient chain mover. If he doesn't, Jared Goff loses his primary read in critical situations. The second major theme is Detroit's plan to compensate for their injuries on the offensive line. Analysts expect Dan Campbell to rely heavily on 6 offensive lineman formations, leaning into a run-first, smash-mouth approach designed to slow the game down, limit Dallas's possessions, and protect Goff from interior pressure. The Lions want to shrink the game, reduce risk, and create occasional explosive shots off play action. For Dallas, this puts immediate pressure on their defensive front. The Cowboys are a speed-oriented defense, built to play horizontally, not to absorb 40 carries straight downhill. Gap discipline, tackling consistency, and early down stops will determine whether Dallas can force Detroit into obvious passing situations where the Cowboys hold the advantage. On the other side of the ball, Dallas enters this game with one of the most efficient offenses in football. Dak Prescott is playing at a high level, supported by Brian Schottenheimer's structured, matchup-driven system. Today's film breakdown highlighted the Cowboys' most effective formation, a 3-by-1 look with George Pickens isolated on the backside. This dictates coverage before the snap and creates predictable leverage advantages. If the backside safety rotates, Pickens gets true one-on-one opportunities. If the safety holds his position, Dallas turns to a 2-on-1 concept on the strong side, involving Jake Ferguson up the seam and CeeDee Lamb outside. The touchdown analyzed today, with Ferguson occupying the safety and Lamb winning on the back pylon throw, is a direct example of how Dallas manipulates defensive structure and forces safeties to declare their intentions. Detroit's defense has struggled against teams that attack space in vertical leverage, and Dallas has the personnel to stress those weaknesses. If Prescott remains decisive, maintains timing, and Schottenheimer continues to isolate the matchups he wants, Dallas should be able to move the ball efficiently. Ultimately, this game will come down to 3 factors: Amon-Ra St. Brown's availability and how Dallas handles the middle of the field, whether Detroit can control the game with a heavy run approach and avoid long yardage downs, and Dallas's ability to dictate matchups offensively, particularly through Prescott's pre- and post-snap reads. If Dallas wins 2 of those 3 categories, the analytical edge leans toward the Cowboys. Cowboys Nation, what's your read on this matchup? Do you believe Dallas has the upper hand heading into Thursday night? Let me know your thoughts, and make sure to like and subscribe for more breakdowns.